viewers, today we are here with another topic of adrenergic blockers in CVS pharmacology and in treatment of hypertension. We are here with alpha adrenergic blockers. We have already studied the examples of alpha blockers, mainly prazosin, terazosin, doxazosin, etc. Prototype drug for this class is prazosin. We have already studied exhaustively the mechanism of action of these drugs. These drugs basically these are the antagonists of alpha adrenergic receptors. That means it basically bind the alpha receptors present on blood vessels. Basically, these can bind the alpha receptors which are present on blood vessels or any smooth muscles. In case of blood vessels, when these alpha blockers bind to the alpha receptors of blood vessels, then what happens? It can dilate the blood vessels so that it can decrease the peripheral resistance, and when peripheral resistance will decrease, the blood pressure will already decrease, because blood pressure is equals to cardiac output and peripheral resistance. Whenever cardiac output or peripheral resistance will decrease, then BP will automatically decrease. So this is basically the selective alpha 1 antagonist. Alpha 1 receptors are basically present on smooth muscles and basically on blood vessels. What happens then? Will decrease the peripheral resistance, that means dilates vessel, and so that mean BP will decrease. It only slight, it has effect on cardiac output, means only slightly decrease the cardiac output of the heart. Basic role on blood vessel, and basically it will decrease the peripheral resistance, and so that the blood pressure will be decreased. It has some decrement in sympathetic outflow also. Sympathetic outflow will also decrease, probably. It has not been so proved. In case of long-term therapy, what happened? Little reflex cardiac stimulation. We have studied the term reflex cardiac stimulation. What happened? When we give vasodilators, then what happened? Promptly the blood pressure will increase, and it will cause a increase in contraction. So in case of alpha blockers, reflex cardiac stimulation increases, but in little context or in little amount, and also there is little renin release, and renin release will increase the angiotensin second, and ultimately the aldosterone and fluid retention will take place. Next one is pharmacokinetics of these alpha blockers. There is one important term in case of alpha blockers. This is called as first dose effect, FDE, first dose effect. When we prescribe or administer an alpha blocker to patients, then what happens? In case of first dose, the postural hypotension will occur. Postural hypotension, because it can suddenly block all the alpha 1 receptors, and it goes to the hypotension condition. BP will suddenly decrease. And another feature that will happen here, fainting in beginning stage when we start the drug therapy with alpha blockers. That means monotherapy of alpha blockers, when we do not prescribe any other drug with alpha blockers. Then what happen if we will continue? Then what happen? The patient will develop a tolerance to this effect, and the first dose effect will be decreased, and this effect means postural hypotension and fainting will decreases when we continue this therapy. Tolerance will achieved by the patient, and in case of elderly people it persists. That means in case of elderly we generally do not prescribe the alpha blockers, and so we can start the alpha blockers with lower dose. That means we can start it with minimum dose 0.5 mg per day, and after that we can gradually increase the dose of alpha blockers, and we can go up to the maximum dose up to the 10 mg BD twice a day. This is the maximum dose of alpha blockers. If we increase that level, then adverse effect will be happen. So in case of the alpha blocker, first dose effect is an important feature of this drug. So when we prescribe alpha blockers, we have to consider this FDE. What happens when FDE, that means first dose effect will increase, then lower maintenance dose is required. Those alpha blockers which have maximum first dose effect, then maintenance dose will be decreased. That means it will be about 2 to 6 mg per day. Another aspect of this drug is half-life is about 3 hours. Probably it is because there will be chances of generation of different metabolite, and so the T half will be 3 hours. And another aspect of pharmacokinetic profile is its effect lasts for 12 hours. 12 hours is the whole duration of this drug, and oral dose require peak fall in BP in 4 to 5 hours. That means you have to repeat the dose in 4 to 5 doses for maintaining the therapeutic limit or therapeutic dose limit. Advantages of alpha blockers. What are the different advantages of alpha blockers? With respect to these first dose effect, and this is not considered as the first line antihypertensive category, but even there are some advantages because we can give it into diabetic patient. First advantage. Second advantage, it is used in increasing carbohydrate metabolism, so that it is also used in suitable for diabetic patients. Also, it can decrease LDL level and increase HDL level, which is beneficial for us. It is the advantages of alpha blockers. If we talk about adverse effect, there are several adverse effects of alpha blockers because we know that alpha 1 receptors are present in most of the smooth muscles, so it may occur headache, dryness of mouth, weakness, nasal blockage, blood vision, rashes, etc. One important adverse effect is this drug may develop CHF, congestive heart failure, in case of long-term therapy. This drug alpha blockers do not considered as the first line therapy in case of hypertension because there is risk of CHF. Firstly, what happened? First dose effect is occurred, and when we increase the dose of alpha blockers, the chances of CHF will increase. So second thing here is retention, fluid retention. So we have to use beta blockers and diabetes with the alpha blockers. These all are the different pharmacological aspects of alpha blockers. Thank you.